It's episode 24 of Bandits Weekly, presented by Smash Supplements. My name is Nathan Crosby. Great episode today. We've got Davide, Patella, and Nick Prkusic joining us for this week's episode, sponsored by Smash Supplements, where you can get everything you need to power through your day and level up. Located in downtown Brooks, open Monday to Friday 10 to 6 and Saturday 10 to 4. Brooks Bandits were on the road last weekend with a pair of games up in Spruce Grove. It was the first time the Bandits and Saints met each other as members of the BC Hockey League. They played 4 times previously this year. Lots of overtime between these two teams. So you had to expect one of the games in Spruce last weekend would go to overtime, and one of them did. Not the Friday night game. Bandits took care of business with a 4-1 win. Sam Scopa really good in net with 24 saves on 25 shots. Bandits get goals from Nathan Free, Kalen Fitzpatrick, Nick DeGraves, and Hunter Wallace. Spruce took a double minor for high sticking. It was drawn by Ethan Byer in the second period. Bandits scored 2 on that power play, and that basically put the game away. So Bandits win 4-1 to open up the weekend. Saturday night was a different story. In the rematch, Bandits fall behind 5-2. Then they mount the comeback, which they've done before in that building this year against the Saints. They tie it up 5-5, and what a way to tie it up after Hunter Wallace and Logan Sawyer both score. Jack Good ties the game in his first game of junior, his first goal ever. He's joined the active roster as a Black Ace earlier that day. So he ties the game 5-5. Pretty wild stuff. Remember, BC overtime is 10 minutes of 3-on-3, and it was a lengthy overtime on Saturday. It went over 6 minutes before Kiefer Miller of the Saints ended the game and gave Spruce the 6-5 overtime win. Snapped the Bandits' winning streak at 9 games. But the Bandits are sitting first in the BCHL Alberta division. They'll have that clinched and will open their playoffs April 19th and 20th at home against an opponent to be determined. Bandits 53-5-1 on this season and a 12-1-1 BCHL record. So that was last week for the Brooks Bandits. This week, 2 great matchups, both at the CRA, Sherwood Park Friday and Spruce Grove Saturday. We'll talk about those later. Let's hear now from a current Bandit, Davide Patella. Davide, thanks for coming on Bandits Weekly. It's great to see you. First off, the tracksuit. I got to ask about that. What's going on here?
Dakota Mason, our assistant coach, thought it would be a good idea if I wore this outfit. It's very vibrant, very red. It was their tracksuits in 2013 when they won the national championship. Mm-hmm. So he said it would be a good idea if I wore it on the podcast.
There's a lot of red happening right now on this screen. But no, you look good.
Thank you. Yeah. It's pretty plain, pretty simple.
When he gave that to you, did he mention how good that 2013 team was? Oh. Did he mention anything about a Michigan and how no one could beat that team?
Yeah, we hear about that a lot. That hat trick in the finals, scored the Michigan. A lot by Taylor Macon, though. Mostly by Taylor Macon. Just his days back in Brooks, they were so good, and how him and Jonesy tore up the league. So, yeah, a lot from them. A lot of bragging.
I'm surprised they've mentioned this to you, because they've never mentioned any of this to me.
Yeah, no, they like to rub it in our faces. Hopefully we could achieve what they achieved, so, yeah.
So on that note, if your team played their team, who would win?
Well, obviously I'd say our team. If you asked them, it'd be a different answer. I believe every single team would be a different answer, every national championship team. So, yeah, I think we'd win, though, 100%.
So, that being said, you were on last year's team that won national championship. How do you think that year's team stacks up with this year's team, and what are the differences?
I think the differences are pretty small. I believe this team's a lot more in depth, a lot deeper. We had a lot of scoring power last year. We had some great players. We still have great players this year, but we were a lot younger last year, I believe. We're a very much older team this year.
Yeah, that's cool. Speaking of last year, later on this podcast, I'll be talking to Nick Prkusic, your former coach.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say to Perk?
Yeah, I miss Perk. He was a great coach, great guy. We always had some good times together. I actually kept number 15 for Perk. I just want to wish him good luck in his journey. I'm glad he went back to pro. It was definitely a shock. I mean, we would always bug him about it, that he was good enough to go back to pro, and he'd love playing with the guys. and he actually did it. He took the step, and yeah, I think he's doing good. First year back after a year or two. So, yeah, good for him. We miss you, and yeah, good luck.
Well said. Okay, so yourself, how are you feeling? Last few weeks, haven't been playing as much, but how are you feeling?
Been tough, just excited to come back. I feel like I could bring some physical play, some energy, and it's been a while, but I'm excited.
Big weekend coming up.
It's coming soon. Yeah, I'm just super excited to come back.
What have you thought of the transition to the BCHL? You played in the BC League before with Merritt. You're a captain with the Centennials before you were traded to Brooks. Go to the AJ, and now you find yourself back in the BC Hockey League. What do you think of all of this?
I think it's a great move for the league, great move for the players. I feel like I just can't escape it. And yeah, no, I'm super excited to play back in the BC again. I really wanted to play against Merritt. Their rink is it's very different, smaller, but it could get rowdy in there. And going back home would be, well, not back home, but back to Merritt would be awesome. To get to see the people there, my billets and all that. And yeah, but I think this year we won't have the chance to play all those teams, maybe just one. So hopefully we get that opportunity, and I'm looking forward to next year, and it's going to be really fun.
Did playing in Drum kind of remind you of games in Merritt?
Yeah, it kind of did. It's very similar, the rinks, very similar, the fan base. Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Merritt's an important step in your hockey journey, coming from Montreal, going out west to the BC Hockey League. How did that all happen? How'd you end up in Merritt?
So it was kind of last minute. I never heard about the BCHL or Merritt. A school actually referred me to them, and I ended up just going to a summer camp, and right out of there they signed me, and yeah, it was a huge step in my journey. I'm super grateful for everything I did there and the opportunities they gave me, but it was kind of out of the blue. It was just so random, and it ended up working out.
Speaking of working out, you coming to Brooks at the deadline last year, and you just mentioned the other day to me, like, that kind of came out of the blue as well, going to Brooks. Yeah,
it did. It was, so I spent a year and a half in Merritt, and I wanted to be part of a winning organization, a championship team, and so I moved on, and I never thought I'd come to the AJ or Brooks, and it just ended up working out. I was super nervous, though, to come to Brooks. It was a big change, a lot different from Merritt, and yeah, and then everyone around me was just helping me, like the coaching staff, the players, and the chemistry was great. They helped me fit in, and it ended up working out in the end. But yeah, it was a huge change. I was super surprised. Never thought I'd come a little more out east.
It's crazy because you don't strike me as a nervous person, but you mentioned that coming to Brooks and kind of the pressure of that. How do you think you dealt with that, and who really helped you get comfortable here?
Honestly, I want to say, well, obviously my family, my mom, she helped a lot for sure. But I think Perk played a big role as the forward coach. He talked to me a lot. Like, we always used to joke around, but when times were serious, he always had good things to say. So, yeah, Perk.
You mentioned earlier your billets. I got to ask about your billet family. Obviously, you have a great relationship with them, and your roommate Jordan Huseman. Just touch on those two things, what they mean to you. Those two people, excuse me.
Yeah. They're great, honestly. I'm so grateful for Leah, Curtis, and Jordan, of course, my roommate. It takes guts taking random, like strangers pretty much, in your house, and I'm super, they're super generous, and they cook meals all the time, and yeah, I think me and Jordan could be a handful sometimes, so yeah, they treat us like their own kids, and well, Jordan's practically a brother to me at this point. It's been a year and a half, and it feels like it's 5 years. He's going to be a brother for life. I could see him coming to my wedding. And yeah, it's gonna be super sad when he leaves off to college. But yeah, I'm super excited for his future.
What do you think is something that Jordan brings to the team that's really invaluable?
Definitely his possession with the puck. I think he's smart with it. He can make plays. He likes to hold on to it. So, I mean, if we have the puck, we are more likely to score goals. And then his leadership, the energy he brings. He's great on the dot, face-offs, and I think a big thing is he could play anywhere. You'll see him at center sometimes. You'll see him on his off wing, winger, power play, PK. So you could really use him anywhere, and because of his size, and I think he's a great value to the team.
You mentioned being a positive guy, coming to the rink every day, and it's been a tough go as of late for you, health-wise.
Yeah.
So just how do you maintain that positivity and showing up with that same energy that we're used to seeing from you?
Honestly, it's just being grateful every day. I try to attack every day with a positive mindset. My mom always tells me, I mean, if you're in a bad mood, all it does is just bring you down and bring everyone around you down. So I just try to come to the ring, be happy, and I mean, the best example is Danny Korzalewski. Every day you see Danny happy, with a smile on his face, he's having fun, and I mean, if you know what's going on back home with his family, it really kicks you in the ass. It makes you wonder, like, wow, how lucky you are in life and how grateful you should be. So I think Dan plays a big role in how I come to the rink and I just have a smile on my face, just try to be happy-go-lucky. Yeah.
That's great that you mentioned Danny, because I see it as well, and it's such a great story and great kid. You mentioned your family, your mom Mina, Gennaro, your dad, your brother. Obviously family's a huge part of every player, but just talk to us about your family and what they mean to you.
Oh, they mean the world. They've came out many times. My mom's came out a lot. I'm super grateful for that. I feel like it always gives me an energy boost when I play. And I was fortunate enough to have my brother come out too. It's a change of pace for him for sure. And he really liked it. He liked it a lot in Brooks, and he went skiing in Banff, so he loves to ski. So that's pretty cool. But it's nice to see them come out and see how I live, and they understand. I mean, we're from the city, so it's a lot different. But yeah, no, I'm super fortunate. They always end up bringing another family member, a cousin or an aunt. So
wasn't your godfather here?
Yeah, my godfather came with my dad. It was a pretty big weekend for us. It was fun, and yeah, super grateful.
Your brother, good skier, and are you a good skier?
Obviously, yeah, I'm a great skier. Actually, my mom used to. She taught us. She was a ski instructor when she was younger, so she always made sure we knew how to ski, and yeah, we skied a lot of places in the world.
Yeah, speaking of your mom, she's visited lots of times here, and she visited when we went to Sweden for the U20 Super Challenge. Just what did that mean to you to have her there in Sweden with you?
It was awesome. It was pretty cool. Like I said, she comes often, and I think she kind of took the opportunity to go visit Sweden herself. She went with my aunt, and they ended up doing Sweden and Norway and maybe another country, I'm not sure. But yeah, it was awesome. She got to come and see us win that tournament. It was an unbelievable experience for sure, playing international teams, and it was fun having her alongside.
You mentioned you love to travel, and your family's done lots of traveling. What are some of your favorite places you've traveled to?
My favorite place I've traveled to is obviously Italy, because I'm Italian. We get to see family and stuff, but we also have family in Switzerland, and Switzerland was beautiful. We were fortunate enough to watch NHL players play in the Spengler Cup, because it was during the NHL lockdown. So we watched Team Canada against Davos when Patrick Kane was playing for Davos, and Canada was just stacked. We also got to ski in Switzerland.
Wow.
And yeah, they have really they have the Alps there, and it's awesome.
I bet it is. So finally, yourself this year, what have you learned this year that you think is really going to help you
in the future?
Yeah.
Definitely the way Brooks plays, just the details. Everything, just not showing up to the rink because mom and dad dropped you off, just having a purpose. It starts in practice. Our coach is kind of a perfectionist, and I feel like he translates that kind of play to us. We practice everything till it's perfect. And I think if we transition that into college, I think it's only going to benefit us. Just being disciplined to details.
And then just as an individual, like the experience, not just this year. I mean, your whole time in Brooks.
Oh.
Like, what do you think and that was a really good answer, by the way, you just gave. But like, just like individually, like, and personally, what have you learned so far being a Brooks Bandit?
Just hate losing. I think being competitive. I think coming in, I wasn't on a winning team, and we didn't win many games. And when you come here, I mean, you pretty much win all the time. And yeah, just people think it's just given to us, but it's actually because we hate losing. And I kind of learned that myself. I hate losing. I became more competitive, and every time the puck drops, I kind of change the type of person I am and become kind of mean on the ice.
I can't picture you mean.
Just on the ice.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you weren't mean in this this interview, but really enjoyed getting to know you. Looking forward to seeing you back out on the ice, finishing this season. What should be a fun way to wrap up this year. I mean, what do you think of how this is all going to shake down with the new playoff in Alberta and then Alberta versus BC?
I think it's kind of similar to our usual playoffs, except the national tournament, if you want to say, is only against BC. Similar to like a Western Cup, I want to say.
Yep.
And it should be interesting. It'll be exciting for sure if we make it. It's been a while since BC has competed against other provinces, so I feel like it'll be a very hyped match.
Yeah. Well said. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to Davide for joining us on Bandits Weekly. Great chat with Patty. We mentioned Nick Prkusic in that interview, so we want to get to that interview right away here. What a terrific guy Nick is. I mean, what a career he had. Came to Brooks, captained the team to an AJHL championship in 2016-17. That stacked team that went to Coburg. Unfortunately came up one goal short, but no question they were the top team in Canada that year. Then he leaves and has a really good college career at Robert Morris, Hobie Baker nominee one of the years. Then gets into coaching. He goes out to Caronport to Prairie Hockey Academy, coaches there, and then comes to Brooks as an assistant during the 22-23 season, wins a national championship, then decides to get back, put the gear back on and go back to playing as he signs with Greenville of the East Coast League. He's now playing with a couple former Bandits, which is really cool, and we were so excited to catch up with Nick Prkusic. Nick, it's great to see you. You're looking great. You're down there in, I assume, somewhere much warmer than Brooks, Alberta, so things must be going well for you, and it's great to see you.
Yeah, Nate, it's good to see you as well. It's been a while now, but yeah, I don't know. I've definitely got a little bit of a tan going on already. Right now, I'm down in Jacksonville for a weekend series against them. So palm trees around and shorts weather, which is nice because I've seen the pictures of back home. But yeah, I definitely do. I do miss it back home, and but I'm just enjoying the experience down here right now.
So, what's your favorite place in the East Coast League to visit?
To visit, you know, I do love Greenville. It's a great city, great downtown, and good fan support and all that kind of stuff. But I guess on the road, I'll probably have to say Florida, just because the weather. Like honestly, it feels like summer. Like the humidity, the sun is just like rejuvenating. So it's nice to get down there. I really like Florida and just that area down on the coast.
And tell us about Greenville. Like, what kind of city is it? Like size wise?
Yeah. I think like the city of Greenville is only like 70,000-80,000, I want to say, but like the metro area is like over 1 million. So,
wow.
It's pretty big. I know it's like one of the fastest growing cities in all of the US. I think people are just flocking to it. Yeah, it's good. I think the fans are just starting to learn about hockey. Like I think down south hockey's obviously growing, and Greenville's kind of one of those spots. It seems like, but they love their Clemson football and
Mm.
basketball and that kind of stuff. But yeah, the city's great. Like the downtown is really nice. There's lots of good restaurants, lots of stuff to do. So it's a pretty cool city to be in for sure.
So tell us about your first year playing in the East Coast League and what it's been like so far.
Yeah, it's been incredible. I'm just extremely happy. I guess I made that decision because looking back, I do love Brooks. I love being in Brooks. I love coaching in Brooks. This is just something I felt like I had to do. And, the experience has been great. We have an unbelievable group of guys. We have a great team. We're first in our division right now. And we're just gearing up for playoffs. So just to be able to play the game again is incredible. Don't take a single day for granted. That's for sure. I love practice. Love being around the guys, the long road trips. The travel is pretty intense in our league. And I just kind of just having fun with it and really taking everything from the experience because I think I've seen the other side now. And I think that's something I can do coaching and coaching something I can do till I'm 60, 70 years old. And playing is just something I had to check off the bucket list. And yeah, it's been everything I thought it would be so far.
Really well said. And we'll get back into kind of the coaching career you've had so far and your time in Brooks, but just like this first year, what have you noticed about getting back into the equipment, getting on the ice as a player? What was that adjustment like?
Yeah, definitely some rust at first, I would say, but that was mostly in the summer. I knew it was going to be a big undertaking to kind of step back into playing. So I trained really hard. I skated a ton. So that was a little weird, especially trying to find ice. And like I haven't played in 2 years. I don't really know anyone around who's playing even at this point. So yeah, it was tough to get back into it initially, but I think as soon as I got down here and I got in the rhythm of things, started to figure things out. The level of hockey is much better than I thought it would be. Um, and I don't know why I thought that beforehand because it is an extremely good level of hockey. Like we're talking about like high end Western League scorers, college players, like
Mhm.
guys on NHL deals, guys on AHL deals, all trying to move up, and it's very competitive. And especially our division in the South, it's just a war every single night, close games. Yeah, very tight division, very tough checking. Not a lot of time and space. And guys at this level just they really think the game a lot faster, a lot. They're just smarter players. So definitely a strong level, and yeah, it's been a challenge so far, but it's a ton of fun as well.
You mentioned the fans earlier. Like, what's it like playing in front of fans in a growing hockey market like Greenville? Like, is it a little different down there in terms of like what they cheer for and things that happen like during the game off the ice?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're just really into it. I don't know if I don't want to say they don't know what they're watching because I think there's a lot of fans that do and they're very invested in our team, which is great. But I think, just the average fan who might come out for the weekend game, they might not know everything that's going on, but they're still very passionate. That's their team. And that's great. We've had some, really great crowds this year. 8, 9,000
Wow.
fans, which is, it's just like incredible to play in front of, and just to feel that energy. And yeah, there really is nothing else like it.
What's the barn like there?
It's pretty nice. It's like, I think it's 17,000 or 16,000, get a ton of great concerts, rolling through town. I think Leonard Skinner was there a couple weeks ago. Couldn't make it obviously because whenever, they're in town, that means we're on the road. But yeah, there's always good bands coming through, good concerts. So yeah, but our rink's pretty great. We have good facilities, gym, sauna, all that kind of stuff. Really just a great spot to play.
Not only that, but you get to play with some former bandits as well. And I mean, this is well timed talking to you today because I just found out a few hours ago about Vash, Arnold Vachon, who was your teammate in Brooks and has just wrapped up his college career and is signing with the team. So we got you, Josh McKechnie, and Arnold Vachon all on one team. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's been how long since I've shared the ice with those guys. I joked with or Vash was joking with me before I hopped on the ice. I think we were the first two out there, and he's like, we haven't shared the ice together in 6 years. And yeah, we just hopped out, and it was just kind of me and him out there for a couple minutes, just like old times. So it's been great. Vash, obviously a very strong player, and going to be a great addition to our group here for our playoff run. And then Kex is like, yeah, he's just a obviously incredible person, like he always has been, but incredible player as well. Like he drives our offense. Same guy every single night on and off the ice. He's just, you know what you're going to get with Kex, and yeah, deserves all the opportunity. And I personally think he could maybe start making the move up. But he just buries his head, works every day, very skilled, good worker, and yeah, he's a huge part of our team.
That's really cool. Like, so are you playing? Have you been playing on a line with McKechnie? Do you think you'll get to play with Vash?
I'm not too sure. I think we're all kind of playing down the middle right now. So me and Kex have both been playing center all year. And then Vash was slotted in there at center today. So I think we're all kind of playing the same position, just big, heavy centers down the middle. I haven't played with Kex at all, but I guess we'll see. You never know.
That when you were all here in Brooks, I can't believe how long ago that is now, but obviously that was a super fun time. You guys had such a great team that year. I mean, what's it like talking with those guys about you guys talk a lot about with your Bandit days?
We do. We kind of leave out the last game.
Yeah.
I think we still all remember that, obviously, but yeah, I think we all look back on our time as players in Brooks as just phenomenal years, not only for our hockey growth. I think that is very understated at how much that place did for us in terms of turning us into Division I players and professional players, but also just the groups of guys that came through there, the teams we had, really just a special place to play for sure.
So what have you thought about the BCHL situation with the Bandits and the other 4AJ teams hopping over? I'm sure you following that. What's your putting you on the spot here, but what's your take on that?
No, I love it. I think it's great for junior hockey in general. And it's great for the four teams that are going to be joining the BCHL. I just think, you want to have the best on best, really just to push development and push players to, be playing against better players, better prepare them for college. And then, there's so much stuff that goes into it in terms of recruiting and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's great. It's a fresh look. I think, those four teams it's going to be very interesting to see how they step into the league full time next year. And obviously this year as well with the playoff format and how that all shapes up. I think it's going to be cool to see it play out. But yeah, it's cool to see that Brooks is kind of a leader in that department, and in terms of, trying to innovate and get better and, look for new ways to, build a better program. So always growing. It's good to see the success they've had this year, and and what the future holds.
Speaking of like growing, like obviously you coached here last year, so lots of our players this year, you got the chance to coach that are back and having great years. Have you been able to follow any of your former players and what they're up to this year?
Yeah, I'm trying to follow as best I can. I see Freezer's been kind of lighting it up as of late, especially with the jump to the BCHL and kind of how he got segmented. He's doing well. And then Big Dan's been lighting the lap, so that's great to see. He's kind of been on a bit of a tear. So those are just a couple guys that I've kind of seen. I'm trying to watch the highlights and stuff still. Yeah, it's good to see all those guys continue to develop. I can't wait to see if there's draft potential and what's going on behind the scenes. Yeah, I loved all that stuff. So I definitely do miss being around those guys, for sure. So
I'm gonna ask you about the draft in a second, but while it's on my brain, earlier today, like you're not the only guest on this podcast this week. Patty is the other guest, and and he says hi, and he was telling me about how about his jersey number. You guys share the same jersey
Yes.
number, and you convinced him to keep it. But like, what do you think? That I mean, he's such a great guy. I mean, he's like everyone likes Davide around here. But what did you like about coaching him?
I think he's just there's never a dull moment around him. Just funny. Yeah, he kind of the life of the locker room kind of guy. He's always making sure people are laughing, but does everything the right way as well. So yeah, we've shared some good laughs. Good to see him, still thriving and being that guy in the locker room.
What did you think of Aiden Fink's season at Penn State?
Yeah, that was pretty incredible to fall too. I knew he was going to be good in college. I didn't know if he was going to be that good that fast. But man, some of the goals he scored and the way he looks, just playing at that level is pretty cool to see. So, him kind of sliding in the draft and that whole cool story with the GM there, what's his name, Poyle.
Yeah.
That whole story was cool. And then, he steps into Penn State and pretty much dominates. So, great for him. Super happy to see that for him.
Yeah, and then of course you got to mention the other draft picks from last year: Hudson Malinowski at Providence, Aiden Celebrini at BU. I mean, really cool to see
Yeah.
those guys go and have that success.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Bengo, he's, playing for a powerhouse and, they're going to have a chance to win a national championship. So that's going to be great experience for him. And then Huddy as well has scored some pretty big time goals in Hockey East, which is, one of the toughest divisions in college. So, to step in and have the role he did, especially at Providence, a school that maybe doesn't push offense as much. But for him to have that kind of season as a freshman as well is very promising. And, it's great, great to see him have that success as well.
Absolutely. Looking forward to the tournament coming up here. So last year, assistant coach with the team, what a year it was too, going and winning the AJ, then winning national championship in Portage. What was your big takeaway from last year being an assistant coach with Makes and then Ryan Papuano, guy you used to play for, now you get to coach with him. Like, just what did you take away from last year that's really gonna stick with you?
Man, so much. Aside from all the hockey knowledge, I guess, from Pap and Makes and just to see how much like detail, like they're so detail oriented. It's crazy or I don't know if it's crazy, but it's very good to see. I kind of see how Pap built the program, I guess. Just in terms of how everything's so detailed, there's a plan for everything. And then, I think the other side I saw is just, how much work it takes and how strong of a work ethic you have to build a program like that. The work that Taylor and Pat put in is second to none. They're always working on something, always trying to find some sort of an advantage. Even after so many years of success, the work never stopped. It's always looking for a way to improve by a percentage. And so I think that's something, whatever walk of life I'm in, I think I'll look back on that and just say, I'll take lessons from that and really just, kind of opened a lens for me.
Have you ever met Dakota Mason before? Ever get to interact with him at all?
I met him a little bit in the summer actually, because I was out a few times with the team and while he was hired. So I'd met a few times there, but before that, no.
Yeah, and obviously we miss having you here, but Jonesy's come in and we enjoy having him around, and it's been pretty cool to see all the different coaches we've had over the years. And I mean, your story, like, have you been able to find another player in a similar situation as you that went to coaching and then came back into become a player? Have you been able to come cross paths with anyone like that?
I don't think so. I joked at the start of the year that I was the oldest rookie in East Coast Hockey League history, but I'm honestly, I'm not too far off. It's a pretty old league. Guys coming out of college at 25, 26 years old.
Mm.
It's not too big of a stretch, I think I realized. But I haven't heard of anyone, spent 2 years coaching and then hopped back into playing. I don't know if I've heard of that one.
Well, it's certainly we're certainly pulling for you down in Greenville, and the rest of the season. We'll be keeping our eye on, especially with 3 Bandits on that team. I mean, how do I get my hands on a Greenville hat or T-shirt or something? We
Like
gotta
we'll
sell some
send
of
a
that
care
here.
pack. Yeah. No, we'll send a care package back to Brooks for you.
That'd be great. Family doing well. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, I think my family's been a huge support for me, just telling me just to go do it, right? And then for them, I think kind of the same thing as me, you don't ever want to leave the game taking things for granted or maybe leaving something on the table. And I think they're also seeing that as well. As when I stopped playing, I think they kind of at times missed getting together and watching a game on a Friday night. So I think for them, they're just really embracing the opportunity for me as well, and just enjoying every game. And I know all my family back home and friends, they're all excited for me, and keeping in touch and seeing how my season's going. So I think it's been pretty cool for everyone close to me.
Been pretty cool for us to connect again with you, Nick, and all the best here for the rest of the season. We'll be following to say hi to Kex and Vash, of course, and I hope you guys just have a great run here, and we really appreciate you doing this.
Of course, anytime, Nate. Appreciate you having me on.
Thanks to Nick Prkusic for joining us on Bandits Weekly. Let's get to our news and notes for our Bandits alumni, because there's lots going on with college hockey playoffs and the NCAA tournament coming up. We begin with Penn State forward Aiden Fink. What a season he had. He led Penn State in scoring, set the team record for power play goals, led all freshmen in the Big Ten in scoring. Nashville Predators draft pick as well. He was named a unanimous selection for the Big Ten hockey all-freshman team, and also got an honorable mention for the all-Big Ten team. He wasn't the only former Bandit to get all Big Ten honorable mention. TJ Hughes with the Michigan Wolverines, who had 44 points in 37 games this year, he also got an honorable mention. So congratulations to Aiden and TJ, who are both alumni of Bandits Weekly as well. Dario Beljo, we got to get him on the podcast soon here. He just scored a massive goal, his biggest of his college career, game-winning goal for AIC in their win over Holy Cross last Sunday. AIC will play RIT in the Atlantic Hockey Association Championship. Good luck to Dario and the Yellow Jackets. Hunter Wallace, got to give him a shout out as well. He got an honorable mention for the BCHL Alberta Division Player of the Week. Hunter had 2 goals, 2 assists last week in the series up in Spruce Grove. And we got to finish with Brandon Scanlon, who had been playing with the Hartford Wolfpack in the American League this year. He was recalled by the New York Rangers earlier this week. Obviously, the Rangers are one of the top teams in the National Hockey League and have a stacked blue line. So pretty cool to see Scanlon join them, and we can't wait to see where that goes. But good luck to Scans. Played in Brooks from 2017 to 19. He was the AJ playoff MVP the NJAC year, won a national championship before going off to Omaha. And we're really excited for the future here for Brandon. Preview of this weekend, we've got Sherwood Park coming in Friday night. Top 2 teams in the Alberta division. What a matchup this will be. They've played 4 times this year. The largest margin of victory has been 2 goals. Last time Brooks and Sherwood Park faced off was here February 24th. It went to overtime. Sherwood Park tied it late, goes to OT. Mirko Budazzoni ends the game in overtime 3-2. But the games have been fantastic between Brooks and Sherwood Park, so you won't want to miss this one Friday night, 7 o'clock at the CRA. Then the Bandits host the Spruce Grove Saints Saturday night, March 23rd. I mean, overtime again last weekend. We've had 2 overtimes earlier this year between the 2 teams. The games have been a lot of fun between Brooks and Spruce Grove. It seems like the Saints are a team that's finding their stride here, so it's going to be a great matchup Saturday night. So join us this weekend at the CRA. That's going to do it for Bandits Weekly. Once again, thanks to Davide, Patella, Nick Prkusic, Drayson Kuiper, and you for watching. I'm Nathan Crosby. This has been Bandits Weekly.